Shalom, Chag Sameach, Happy Hanukkah, everyone. It is good to see you all here joining us for our Shabbat of Hanukkah story time. I'm so glad to see you all here as we come together this morning for some stories and some songs on this Shabbat of Hanukkah. So let's get started. We'll sing some songs and then we'll get to our stories. Bim. Bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam, chiri, biri, biri, bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom, Maya Hayom, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Sivivon to play with and latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning low. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Maybe one more Hanukkah song, guys. Yeah. I had a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin, and when it gets all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. All right, boys, if you want to have a seat, we can start our stories. Our first story this morning is going to be called Sadie's Almost Marvelous Menorah, and it's by Jamie Korngold and illustrated by Julie Fortenberry. Sadie loved school. She loved the Hebrew songs the children sang during music, the wooden play sink in the kitchen corner, and the reading nook with its books and comfy chairs. She loved the boys and girls in her class, and she especially loved her teacher, Maura Rachel. One Monday morning at circle time, Maura Rachel asked the class, "Can you guess what holiday starts this week?" All the children chimed in at once. Hanukkah! Sadie loved Hanukkah. She loved to spin dreidels and to eat potato latkes with applesauce. Most of all, she loved to help light the Hanukkah menorah. Maura Rachel said, "This week we are going to make our own menorahs." How exciting, thought Sadie. My very own Hanukkah menorah. Sadie couldn't wait to start. On Tuesday, Maura Rachel brought out big blocks of clay for each child. The children kneaded, rolled, and shaped their menorahs. Sadie used a pencil to poke holes in the clay to hold 8 candles. Then she rolled a small ball of clay, put one more hole in it, and attached it to the top. This was for the shamash, the candle used to light all the others. On Wednesday, Maura Rachel brought out paints. There was purple, blue, orange, green, yellow, and pink. The children put on their smocks and began to paint. They speckled and spotted and striped their menorahs. Sadie painted hers pink with blue squiggles. On Thursday, Maura Rachel taught the children the Hanukkah blessings, and they all sang them together. On Friday, Sadie ran all the way to school because today she would take home her pink and blue menorah. All morning, she imagined how it would look on the windowsill in the living room. At pickup time, Sadie waited for her mother to arrive. As soon as she saw her, she started to run. But in her excitement, she tripped and fell, and the menorah flew out of her arms. Sadie burst into tears and ran across the room into her mother's arms. "Oh no, I dropped my menorah and it broke into a million zillion pieces." Sadie's mother hugged her and said, "Let's see if we can pick them up and glue them back together." But even as she spoke, her mother could see that the shattered pieces were too small. There were pieces of Sadie's menorah in the dress-up corner, and pieces in the block corner. There were pieces under the snack table and pieces under the easel. Silently, the children began to help gather them. Maura Rachel placed all the pieces in a small plastic bag. As they left the classroom, Sadie noticed something near the door. "Look, it's the shamash," she said, "and it's not broken." "Sadie, this is an extra special shamash," her mother said, "and I think we can find an extra special job for it. You know that when we light the menorah, we use the shamash to light all the other candles. How do we light the shamash? That can be the job for your shamash. We'll call it Sadie's Super Shamash." Sadie picked up her little pink shamash and cradled it ever so carefully in her hands. That night, Sadie and her brother Ori, her parents and grandparents gathered to light the first Hanukkah candle. They had decorated the house with drawings of dreidels, menorahs, and stars of David. The table was covered with latkes, donuts, and Hanukkah gelt. On the windowsill stood 4 Hanukkah menorahs waiting to be lit. Right in the middle was Sadie's little pink and blue Super Shamash. Sadie put a candle in her Super Shamash and Daddy helped her light it. Then carefully she used it to light the shamash on all the other 4 menorahs. And in Sadie's family, that is how the Hanukkah menorahs are lit, even today. The end. Our next story is called Little Red Ruthie, a Hanukkah tale. It's by Gloria Coster, and the pictures are by Sue Eastland. It was a chilly winter in the northern woods, but Ruthie did not mind. Every year, she and her grandmother made latkes together for Hanukkah. Today, she was on her way to Baba Basha's house on the other side of the forest. Ruthie was taking sour cream and applesauce to go along with the yummy potato pancakes they would make. She carefully packed her basket and kissed her mother goodbye. "Stay safe, my little red Ruthie, and stick to the path." "I promise," she said. She skipped along the trail. Snow began to fall. Soon a white blanket covered the ground, causing Ruthie to lose her way. Suddenly, something jumped out from behind a tree. Ruthie found herself face to face with a wolf. "Little girl," said the wolf, "I am going to eat you up." Ruthie's heart raced. Her tummy flip-flopped, but she could not let the wolf know she was scared. It was Hanukkah, and Ruthie wanted to be as brave as the Maccabees. Didn't those soldiers stand up to a frightful ruler who wanted to put an end to the Jewish religion? Ruthie would stand up to her enemy too. Being a clever girl, she offered a smart and speedy reply. "Mr. Wolf," she explained, "underneath my puffy coat, I'm actually skinny as a twig, but I'm on my way to cook latkes with my Bubby Basha. Each day of Hanukkah, I plan to eat a plate full of delicious potato pancakes. When the holiday is over, I am sure to be as round as a pancake myself. If you wait just 8 days, you are guaranteed to have a better meal. Why not eat me then?" Her words were so enticing, the wolf agreed. He even led her out of the thicket and back onto the trail. But his stomach began to rumble. In the distance, his tasty morsel was disappearing. "Deal's off." Mr. Wolf, how hungry you must be to come all this way. Before you gobble me up, allow me to fry up a platter of luscious latkes. Once I'm gone, you won't have the chance to enjoy their heavenly taste. That sounded delightful, but the wolf was used to eating his food raw. Hurry up, he demanded, and skip the frying part. We can't, Ruthie insisted. A latke is not a latke unless it's fried. Oil is very important in the Hanukkah story. No one had ever shared a story with the wolf, so Ruthie told him the tale of the Maccabees' victory. When the soldiers took back their temple, she explained, they discovered a tiny bit of oil. Nobody believed it could provide light for more than one day, but it lasted for 8 days. That is the Hanukkah miracle, and that is why you must wait while I prepare a treat that is crispy on the outside and silky smooth on the inside. The wolf was an impatient sort, but he agreed. He even sat down at the kitchen table where Bubby Basha had already laid out the ingredients: potatoes, onions, eggs, and flour. Ruthie was thankful for all the time she and her grandmother had made the latkes together, but could she make them on her own? As she worked, Ruthie found she remembered the entire recipe by heart. Soon the irresistible aroma of the sizzling latkes filled the room. Aren't they ready yet? Whined the hungry wolf. By the time Ruthie served him a stack of potato pancakes, drool was dripping down his chin. He ate a plateful, and then another, and then another. Bubby Basha returned, horrified to see Ruthie in danger. Fortunately, now the wolf was too full up to his eyeballs and was very groggy. Bubby, said Ruthie, our guest has been munching on some latkes, but it is surely time for his main course. No, thank you, stammered the wolf. He wanted nothing more than some fresh forest air and headed for the door. What a pity you must leave, said Bubby Basha, but we can't send you on your way without a treat. She searched in her bag, pulled out a jelly donut, and placed it in the wolf's paw. Enjoy this tomorrow, she said, ushering him outside. Ruthie breathed a sigh of relief. After plenty of hugs and kisses, Ruthie and her grandmother lit the first Hanukkah candle and sat down at the table. Thanks to little red Ruthie, dinner was ready, and it was delicious. The end. Our last book this morning is called Snowmen at Night. It's a good winter story, even though maybe not a Hanukkah story today. And it's by Carolyn Buhner and pictures by Max Buhner. One wintry day, I made a snowman very round and tall. The next day when I saw him, he was not the same at all. His hat had slipped, his arms drooped down. He looked really a fright. It made me start to wonder, what do snowmen do at night? I think that snowmen start to slide when it gets really dark, off the lawn and down the street, right into the park. They gather in a circle while they wait for all the others, sipping cups of ice-cold cocoa made by snowman mothers. Then the snowman games begin. They line up in their places, each one anxious for his turn in the snowman races. And after everyone has had a chance at racing once or twice, they go on over to the pond to do skating tricks on ice. Sometimes they start giggling, and then they act like clowns. They bump into each other till they all fall down. They gather up their snowballs, the pitcher takes his aim, and underneath the moonlit sky they play a baseball game. No one knows just how it started, but soon it's quite a sight, with snowmen throwing snowballs in the world's best snowball fight. Then it's time for sledding. It's a wild ride down the hill. Wahoo, they yell. This is by far the snowmen's biggest thrill. Finally, they're tuckered out and getting sleepy, so they slowly gather up their things, and one by one they go. So if your snowman's grin is crooked or he's lost a little height, you'll know he's just been doing what snowmen do at night. The end. It was so nice seeing all of you this morning for our Shabbat of Hanukkah story time. I hope you're all having a great Hanukkah. Tonight at 7:30, Mike will be on Facebook, right here on Facebook, to lead us in Havdalah and light the Hanukkah candles this evening. Then tomorrow morning is Play Tamid at 9:30. I hope to see all of you young ones. Play Tamid is our really fun, exciting play group for kids who are not yet in pre-K. So we meet on the patio at CDT. It's a lot of fun with some singing and crafts and stories. So I hope to see you tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Zoom is our congregation's Hanukkah party. Along with Congregation Gesher LaTorah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The Bible Players, a really hysterical, appropriate for all ages improv group, will be joining us. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, each night of Hanukkah, right here on Facebook, we're going to be lighting the candles as a community. So I hope to see you all for the rest of Hanukkah. We'll be back next Saturday for more story time. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Chag Sameach. I hope you have a great week. Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom, Shalom. Lehitraut, Lehitraut. Shalom, Shalom. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye, goodbye. Till we meet once again. Till we meet once again. Goodbye, goodbye. Shabbat.